Every country in the world is in debt. For example, the United States currently owes more than $38 trillion. The European Union carries nearly $14 trillion, and Japan has around $9 trillion in debt. Even oil-producing countries and industrial giants like Germany are in debt. But there is a strange issue here. If everyone is in debt, who is receiving all this money? This is where things start to get weird, because this situation isn't as simple as it seems. Debt isn't just a burden. It's more like the foundation of the modern world. Crises, economic fluctuations, even wars are all connected to this system of debt. And when you dig a little deeper, you realise something. The world isn't really in debt to specific people, in a way. It's in debt to itself, but that doesn't mean everyone benefits fairly. So how did we get here? This story goes way back, to the 1600s. While England was at war with France, its treasury was running dry. The king turned to merchants and asked for loans. In return, he said, "I'll pay you back with interest in the future." That became the foundation of modern government debt. Then a system was created to manage it, the central bank. And suddenly, countries realised something. I can use money I don't even have yet. That was a huge turning point, because lenders also gained something valuable. They now had something that could be bought and sold. The government's promise. In other words, bonds. Over time, every country adopted this system. France, the Netherlands, the United States. And borrowing stopped being a sign of weakness. On the contrary, it became a sign of power. In the past, countries fought for gold. Now, they borrow for interest. Looking at today, now everyone is in debt. But at the same time, everyone is also lending. For example, most of the United States debt is actually owed to Americans. Banks, pension funds, investors, people pay taxes. That money returns as interest and goes into pension funds. So the system keeps spinning on its own. It's like looking into a mirror, and this isn't just true for the US. It's global. Countries lend to each other, then indirectly borrow from each other again. It's definitely a strange system. Imagine a table where everyone writes "I owe us" to each other. But no one leaves the table, because if someone gets up, the game collapses. And then there are the bigger players, the markets, massive funds, banks, central banks. They decide who can borrow easily and who struggles. If there's trust, everything works. But when trust breaks, things fall apart. We saw it in Greece. We saw it in Argentina. We saw it in Sri Lanka. When the system cracks, the creditors suddenly become visible. But here's the strange part. This system wasn't built to eliminate debt. It was built to keep it going. Governments don't think, let's pay it all off one day. They constantly take on new debt to pay the old one. It's like a subscription. And the system keeps running this way. Here's the surprising truth. If all debt was suddenly paid off, the economy would collapse. Because this debt is also an investment tool. It's what banks and funds consider the safest asset. So debt is actually the fuel of the system. But there's something important to understand. When we say the world owes itself, that doesn't mean it's equal, because interest payments aren't distributed fairly. They usually flow upward, from workers and taxpayers to large investors. So debt doesn't just balance countries, it also creates balance between people, and that balance is often not fair. In the end, we arrive at this point. There is no single villain in this system. Not China, not the United States, not the banks. In reality, everyone is part of it, and that includes us. Because in the modern world, debt is no longer just debt. It has become money itself. But if that trust ever breaks, that's when everyone will remember debt is a promise that cannot be kept forever.